time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
I punched the button a little bit too quickly. I still had 23 seconds on the clock before it was due to start, but you know, these things, they happen. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. This may wind up being a short short show, a short shower of, well, whatever. But I got Joe Dog with me for a while here. I don't know how long he'll stay.
Oh, not very long. Well, who knows? We got on a good roll right there at the end, and
yeah, we did. Well, we did talk about farm equipment and bulldozers and um, repaired barn find vehicles
yeah.
a little bit much, but you know, it was entertaining for
Well,
us.
hey, that's stupid o'clock because you never know what the hell we're going to talk about.
Yeah, really. Ain't much different here.
Hey, 99% of the time, hell, we don't know what we're going to talk about.
I'd say it's higher than 99% over here. I just kind of go along with the flow. I'm suspecting that Uncle Carl and Aunt Donna have long gone to bed, and Dawn is finished with her TV program, but probably Ted wanted to go to bed, so she's either gone to bed herself or beating her laptop into submission so she could join us or not.
And I see there's one viewer. Is that you? Just with your other?
The iPad will not show me anything but music videos now on YouTube.
Oh,
I can't without going through subscriptions, and I can't subscribe to my own channel. I can't see anything but music on the iPad. It annoys me to no end.
Okay. Well, whoever's out there, thank you.
Hey, glad to have you. We'll do our best to cure your insomnia and give you something to think about along the way, if those aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let me go over the news. Other people might not have tuned into Stupid O'Clock in time to see. the Tom Darby prequel has gone through its final edit and been sent back to the publisher. God, I hope that email worked. And then the cover art the publisher is looking for right now. Hopefully, he will find the photograph that I wanted, and it won't be too difficult of a job for him to lay out the cover. The fourth book that should be going to an editor sometime soon, but it's a very long book, so I don't expect it to be as quickly processed as the last 2 weeks of dealing with the third book has been. Good news is I have a provisional approval of the cover art that I did in the computer for when the story was online. So maybe there won't have to be a search for a cover for that because I did that artwork myself, and it was not AI because it was done before AI existed. Hey, Adam, how you doing? Glad to
Hey,
have you.
well,
Oh,
we're up.
now we've got 3 people watching.
Yeah, I saw that. We got 3 people. 2 of them are too shy to say anything.
Well, I mean, it'll be all right.
Of course, I don't blame them. The last thing they want to, on the algorithm is proof that they were actually here.
Oh, great.
What?
I,
What'd you
I
do
forgot,
now?
I forgot to click on the message box. You know, you type for a living. You think you'd know where the keys are by now. We've only been doing this for 28 damn years. Well, a little bit longer actually, because I was doing other stuff online before I started up Aphelion. So yeah, the first issue of Aphelion's 28th year of publication went live the first Sunday of February, and so far everything looks good. I need to do a little bit of graphic arts for a better little 28-year badge. I think I'm going to make one that I can just edit the number in the middle and not have to worry about redoing the entire thing. Because doing that wraparound circular text on the outside edge of the little banner, since I only do it once a year, I forget how I'm supposed to be doing it. I have to go back and watch some videos to tell me how to make it work.
Well, don't feel bad. When I print the Hallowcon badges, I have to watch a YouTube video on how to do it.
Yeah.
Because I only do it, like you said, once a
year.
That's why I want to start up 2 more conventions.
What you talking about, Willis?
I've gone crazy.
What is this gone of which you speak?
The crazy's getting out.
Look, Joe Doak, I love you, but I'm not driving to Dalton 3 times a year. It's hard enough driving to Chattanooga once and Dalton once. I ain't as young as I used to be.
Tell me about it. And I'm planning a drive to Texas this spring.
If you don't mind me asking, for which particular event, or is it just a vacation?
Yeah.
A vacation at an event?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't believe a word of it. You can't go to an event and not be sitting at a table advertising Hallowcon. So you're working the event.
No, but I will be wearing a shirt that says, I meant to tell Chris about this. I'm working on this a shirt. It says, I'm going to, and then have the Hallowcon poster
Yeah,
on the front. And on the back, it'll say RU with the QR code to the website.
that sounds neat.
It's different.
You'll have to change the front every year, but
Well, hey,
you're only gonna do what, 5 shirts for that
yeah.
at the most. And Teespring will only charge like $50 shipping per shirt.
No, they do the sample shirt. I'll do them as samples.
Okay.
Yeah, samples are cost with $3 shipping.
When I tried to buy some Stupid O'Clock merch,
Yeah.
their shipping was outrageous. And if I wanted 2 shirts and a coffee mug, I had to pay for 3 different shipments, not one with 3 items. Of course, this was a couple of years back. They may have changed it by now.
I hope so.
But no, there wasn't any way to just load up your cart and do it all with one payment. You had to buy one item and pay for the shipping, and buy another item and pay for the shipping, and buy another item and pay for the shipping.
That
So
should.
they were making a fortune back then. No, it shouldn't be, but that's what they were doing. No, I can't wait to see my fans react to the next book coming out, and then the book coming out after that. Then I've got to finish the book after that, and I'm going to do an oil painting for the cover, which would take me several months, pretty much. And then I know I'm going to have to tell people, no, it's not AI art, it's my art. I may have to do a little film a segment of me actually working on the thing with a paintbrush in my hand, and just do bits and pieces like that, and do a 3-minute video and put it up on Facebook going, hey, yeah, well, it's not AI, it's me with a paintbrush and some magnifying glasses. And
With a 1 bristle brush.
well, I think the best I can get is a 000, which is damn near 1 bristle. But, like any oil painting, it's going to be a broader brush for the raw colors. And as you add the details, the brushes get narrower and narrower and narrower, until you finally reach the limit of what they will manufacture.
Yeah. Of course, I learned an interesting art fact about Vincent van Gogh.
Oh,
His most famous painting is which one?
Starry Night.
Okay. Do you know that is the only painting that is named after the background, not what's in the picture? It could have been called The Cypress Tree or A Sleepy Village.
I did know it was the only one that people know about that actually turned out to accurately portray astigmatism in the how indistinct the patterns were.
Yeah. Now this is something real cool. Star Charts actually has the night sky from that village with the actual stars with that down underneath it. And it's called A Starry Night.
That is excellent. I know when I was painting the back of my leather motorcycle jacket, I got a star chart of the month it took me to be painting that and put everything in its place. And then the foreground was something I'd done several times before, but changed it up each time. The original was basically um, a larger copy of an album cover, and every time I changed the central image in the astronaut's helmet, the reflect what was supposed to be the reflection of the moon, and I've actually seen the official uh, NASA photograph of the astronaut that took that portrait, and all the different craters and everything were lined up exactly perfect. Somebody went in and did. Um, I do believe it was the album cover was done in watercolor. It was either watercolor or it was acrylic, and it looks more like watercolor to me. But I reproduced that, like I said, 3 times with different reflections in the astronaut's helmet. One was for high school art class, and another one was later on when I just wanted to be messing around with something and impress my mom with how much detail could do with things. And then the last one was me and Daddy on Daddy's fishing ski boat in the middle of the lake, both of us standing up on the boat fishing.
Yeah. Nice.
But the important part of the jacket was if you knew that it was actually a star chart, you could look at it and go, oh, okay, that's Saturn, that's Jupiter. I don't know what that one is, but it's really bright. Maybe that's Sirius, and go on from there. But I put everything in the right place for the month that it was that I was painting the back of the jacket.
Well, if you look at Starry Night, over on the left hand side, the real big bright one, Venus.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
I watch too much Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I don't know that there is such a thing as watching too much Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh, have you discovered Dr. Becky?
Which one?
She does a great show on astronomy and current astronomical alignments and events and things. And then there's a guy, he's Portuguese, but he lives in South Korea, which I was surprised to find that out. And he does an astronomy show as well, but he goes into some of the larger things like, oh well, we just detected 2 neutron stars colliding and giving off gravitational waves, or any number of different things like that. He had.
I'm going to tell you right now, when they discover subspace communication, it'll be gravity waves.
You wouldn't be a bit surprised.
It's the only thing that moves faster than light.
No, it doesn't move faster than light. It moves at light speed. You know, I've already been. Stephanie has set me straight on this.
But one of the great ones I like watching is Vintage Space.
Oh, I've never heard of that one. I'll have to look it up.
Amy Shira title Goth Girl.
Okay.
But she mainly covers up to Shuttle.
So it's the more classical stuff
Yeah,
from the
Vintage
history.
Space. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Now Gemini, not Gemini. It was called the Gemini program. Was originally supposed to come back, once it re-enters and all that. What? Not parachutes, paraglider.
Oh yeah, the dinosaur program. Yeah.
No, not the dinosaur.
No. I mean, dinosaur was a test of the paraglider system,
and they
and they were wanting to put, instead of wheels, a wheel landing gear on it, was supposed to be skids, and they'd land it someplace like um, Great Salt Lake in Utah, and just let it slide across the ground until it finally stopped.
yeah. The original paraglider was not sanctioned by NASA. A couple pilots saw the design, looked at it, and built it. And they were using the GTO that would catch the U-2 wing when they came into land.
Mm-hmm.
They were using it to pull it down the runway to get it up into the air.
Oh, for the tests?
Yeah. And the NASA guy was going, what the hell? That looks like a holy shit. Then they got funding.
Once they proved it was going to work, yeah. It's amazing how that works. You give somebody something that you already have tested, and they didn't have to pay for because you did it on your own dime.
Which is what the space program needs to be.
Oh, I'm wondering when Elon is going to get tired of blowing up starships. Although, having watched the entire space program from the
beginning,
pretty much, yeah, from the 50s on up, I remember how many things blew up before they actually got something that worked. Elon ain't come close to that total yet.
No. But how many successes have come from just Starship?
This is true.
Everything that Starship has done, they said can't be done.
Robert Heinlein would probably beg to differ.
Well, like that movie that I discovered, for the Hallowcon thing, Spaceship XM.
Oh yeah, Rocket Ship XM. Yeah,
Rocket Ship XM.
I remember it well.
You look at that. That's a freaking Starship.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the booster was a little wanky, but realize, at the time they,
Was that the one that Heinlein was the technical advisor on?
I don't know, but Lloyd Bridges was part of the cast.
Yeah.
Of course, I love the how the cockpit worked inside the ship. It was a sphere inside the ship. So when they launched and they, then once they started turning or whatever, it would
rotate opposite the direction the ship was rotating.
Yeah, and so they would be level. And when it came into land, comes into land like Starship, it would rotate back to the vertical to land.
And the sphere inside would once again be everybody laying on their back in a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a brilliant idea. I mean, I'd love to hem Elon up. I said, there was a movie in the 50s about this. And he'd probably look at me and go, yeah, Spaceship XM. Where do you think I got the idea?
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet? Yes.
Oh, Dan, I hate to rush off on you, but I am.
That's all right. That's all right. We've already put in almost 30 minutes. I may call it at 30 minutes because I can't sit here and monologue for too long. I will lose my voice, and I'm going to have it tomorrow.
And everybody's just abandoned you, Dan.
No, you scheduled everything an hour later than normal.
I did.
Saturday night, stupid o'clock is usually at 10.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah.
That's all right. I figured you might have been taking Donna out to dinner. You might have been coming back for a con or from a con. It doesn't matter. It's all right.
You just named it. You just named my spring convention. From a con.
Okay.
What?
I'll let you have that one free. You don't even have to pay me for it.
Would that not be a cool name?
Yeah.
From a con. And have a lot of creatives there to get together and collaborate. And when they say, where'd you get the idea for this? From a con. Don't you love how my brain works, Dan?
I plead the fifth. I don't think you even know how your brain works.
Yeah, just hey, at least I'm better than my wife. At least it comes in here and it processes before it comes out.
That's why I believe in these little subatomic particles called inspirons.
Yeah.
And they just sleep through the universe like cosmic rays or something. And every once in a while, the right one will hit the right head, and somebody will have a brilliant idea and turn it into something real.
Well, I
think Terry Pratchett was the one that came up with that. I just adopted it.
I told you about when I wired the ceiling fan up in the bedroom here, didn't I?
I'm afraid to ask, but please
couldn't
go
figure
on.
out what breaker it was to turn the power off, so I wired it hot. It was a brilliant flash.
I imagine so.
Especially, hey, you don't know what it's like to spark 110 about right here.
How do you know?
I've done it. At least I didn't touch them together. At least I wasn't holding on to them. It was just a screwdriver.
I had this guy who's an electrician at work come over and wire up a light switch that had the old one had burned out, shorted out, and it was just the switch that was shorted. The wires weren't burned at all. And I said, well, let me go flip the breaker off. He says, by the time you get that done, I'll be done wiring the damn thing. He just twisted it on there hot using some rubber grip needle nose pliers and a rubber grip screwdriver. And sure enough, by the time I could have figured out which breaker it was I needed to flip, he was done.
Done had the plate back on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got, turn the breaker off. Make sure, test
Make,
it twice.
make sure it's the right damn breaker. And really, turning the switch on the wall does not mean that you got the right breaker, even though the lamp don't come on. I don't know how that works.
Hey, there's nothing like changing out a light switch and a breaker to realize the bulb's burned out.
Oh, my little brother
Not,
was
not
a licensed electrician. When he bought this house, he wired up a ceiling fan with a dimmer switch. Ceiling fans aren't made for dimmer switches. When I bought the house, he said, "Well, the ceiling fan don't work. I tried to put a dimmer switch on it." And I go, "Okay." Took the plate off, took the dimmer switch out, had the breaker off because it was plainly labeled which one. And yeah, it was a dimmer switch that shorted out. It wasn't the ceiling fan. So I put a regular on-off switch on it. We've had a ceiling fan there ever since. I mean, I've replaced the original one he had up there because I had one with a deluxe light kit on it. So it was much better. And I didn't want to sit it in the barn and leave it forever. So it was easier to just take that cheap ass one he had down. And I don't know what I ever did with it. Probably took it to one of the charity donation places and just handed it to him. Go, yeah, it works. And then hung up my own.
Well, I told you about the light switch here at this house, didn't I?
Which
I
one?
flip it on and off, flip it on and off, flip it on and off. Nothing would ever happen. Then one day I was talking to some old lady across the street. She goes, "Damn it, stop it." I was telling her about the light switch on, flipping on and off. She yelled at me and said, "Damn it, stop that."
Porch light?
No. You don't remember the Stephen Wright joke? Yeah, I bought a house, had a light switch. Every now and then I'd go over and flip it on and off. One day my neighbor came over and told me to stop it.
It was wired to somebody else's house. Oh.
Hey, trust me, Dan, if you see how this neighborhood's built, you'd believe it.
Sounds kind of like the Christmas movie where somebody else was stealing this guy's electricity.
Oh, there's a video of this guy who just torments his wife with practical jokes. And she had this, reindeer, Christmas reindeers and Santa sleigh. And one of the reindeers would go out. She'd go out there and she'd shake it and all that. And come on, she put it down, turn to walk away, it goes out again. He was plugging and unplugging. And she was getting madder and madder. And I'm going, "Oh, don't give me ideas. Don't give me ideas." Then they had a Roomba. So he duct taped dry erase markers on it, on their white tile floor. I said, this guy's gonna get me killed.
Sooner or later, yeah.
We're at 35, Dan. I got to go.
All right, that's fine. Thank you for staying so long.
All right. Well, we're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we sort of ended stupid o'clock real quick.
Well, like I said, I still had 23 seconds on my countdown clock when you
Said go.
yeah, you said hit the button, hit the button. I came over and I hit the button and I go, not quite at zero, but then
But
again,
close enough.
yeah.
All right. I will see you Thursday.
All right. You
All
take
right.
it easy.
Good night, Adam.
Good night.
Yes, I want to leave the studio. Then I got to click leave studio. You got to click leave studio 3 times
If you don't stay till the actual end credits run and I
yeah.
hit end stream.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night. And alone again, naturally. But I still have 4 people watching, so that's pretty good, especially for me. Let's see. I may run out the clock a little bit more, but I'm not going to go full 2 hours trying to monologue. There are not that many thoughts going through my head that aren't repetitive. I'm hoping that when that line of thunderstorms passes over, the one that's been spawning tornadoes and whatnot in Arkansas and Mississippi, and hopefully not too many in Alabama and Louisiana, and hopefully none by the time it gets to Georgia. I'm hoping that the wind has died down enough to where I don't have to worry about trees falling in the backyard, because that's where most of the trees are. And I'm had to go out to Lowe's and get some concrete flagstones to put underneath the new shed that we've got, little Rubbermaid shed. It's uh, not very deep, not very wide, and just a little bit taller than I am. And that's where I'm going to put big totes with my cast iron cookware in for the cast iron oven and the barbecue grill. And I've got a shelf to put in it. Shelf didn't cost too much. It's a plastic shelf. It's pretty sturdy though. And then I've got to dig out um, the padlock that I bought to lock it up on the inside, because I've never really had to lock the one on the outside. If somebody wants to steal a wooden shovel that the handle is about rotted away from, then more power to them. They're not going to get much for a scrap metal shovel. That the 2 sheds are just exactly like. One of them's on the outside of the chain link fence, and the new one's going to be on the inside of the chain link fence. Everything that I put in there, my charcoal, my coal, the cookware, and whatever else I've got room on the shelves for, it's all going to be in plastic totes that will fit in. And as I was reminded, some of those totes have little vent holes in them that I'm going to have to cover up so spiders and whatnot can't climb inside and make me have to clean all the cookware again. I mean, I'd be fine if I'd have to rinse it and dust it, but actually having to go through and give it a good wash when it was washed before it got put in there, that'll get to be annoying a little bit. But I've got lots and lots of cast iron cookware. My wife has cleaned out all the cast iron when we got the new kitchen stove, because it's got a glass top on it, and she didn't want to scratch the glass top, which is totally understandable. Matter of fact, some of the items of cookware were not even cast iron, but this little thing here is about big enough for one scrambled egg or a couple of pieces of sausage. And that's going to go outside too, because there's not much way I'm going to mess up a cast iron stove top. I don't know that I will be able to figure out how to use it as a smoker, because it doesn't have a smoking chamber added to it. But I can take a couple of the eyes loose and set something on racks over top of it and put up with the smoke boiling out of the stove, and keep I've got applewood charcoal, and I've got hickory charcoal, and I've got oak charcoal, I've got regular coal, which is hard to find around here, and I've got lots and lots of wood that we had all kinds of overhanging branches around the house, and I just walked around the different oak trees and with a pole saw and trimmed up as high as I could reach safely, and that has been pretty much, except for the kindling size sticks, it's been cut up into small enough lengths to go in the cast iron stove. Some of them I probably will get my chainsaw out and cut in half so that I'll have smaller chunks, about 8 to 9 inches in diameter. There's another branch I need to cut off another oak tree, because don't want that oak tree to die off. But then again, I don't really know how old it is. I can barely reach my arms around it, so I imagine it's a little bit older than I am. But this branch just comes right on out, and the electric companies come out and trim branches off the other side so that the power line going to the house does not get clipped by a branch. And then the other side is just kind of, it looks unbalanced with this big old thing. The base of this limb might be a foot in diameter. So I can get out there with the pole saw and cut till the end of the branch is laying on the ground. Get out there with got a small hand drill size chainsaw, and then I've got a full size chainsaw. Get out there and cut stuff up into short enough lengths until when I finally free that branch from the tree trunk, it doesn't crush the flower bed underneath. Because I worked hard on that flower bed. Need to redo the soil in it, because the flowers were eating up just about as much of the nutrients in the potting soil as the oak tree did. So that has to be recycled every once in a while. I've got what is it? A composter, and I can take the compost from that, toss it in the wheelbarrow, go out of the fence, dump it underneath the oak tree, let that sit there and recharge the flower bed underneath the oak tree. That'll last for maybe 2 years. Oak tree will suck up a lot of the nutrients, but then if I plant the right kind of flowers, they'll put nutrients back in as fast as the oak tree can suck them out. Yeah, it'd be nice to keep that tree around for a while. But yeah, that one branch is just. I'm always having to get out there and trim the ends off of it so I can get the riding mower underneath it without getting a twig in my eye or getting my hat knocked off or whatever. So, that'll be another job. Then I'll have going to replace the well house. I've got some railroad ties that I'm going to put around the base of the metal shed that I bought for a new well house and put some bolts in there to make sure that the metal shed stays attached to the railroad ties, and hopefully it'll be too heavy for any particular wind to send sailing across the road into the neighbor's field across the street. I've got a greenhouse I've got to take in the backyard and assemble. My wife wants it in a place to where it's not going to get much sunlight. I want it in a place where it'll get plenty of sunlight, but that place is where it blocks a lot of the view from one of the kitchen windows, and she doesn't like that idea. But I kind of like the idea of actually being able to use the greenhouse to grow stuff in that isn't mushrooms. If I put it where she wants, I'm not going to be able to grow anything because it's only going to get like 4 hours of sunlight a day. And if I go so far as to put grow lights in there, I would say after the first fall evening that the grow lights stayed on after dark, have them on a timer naturally, so it goes off. Everything inside gets the amount of sunlight it needs. But the county's drug enforcement unit helicopter is going to send some policemen over to find out what I'm growing in that greenhouse. And they're not going to be happy with tomatoes and onions and bell peppers and whatnot. So ain't no use attracting undue attention if I put it in the full sunlight where inside of the greenhouse does not need any artificial lighting. I probably will have to put up with my wife complaining about not being able to watch the dog running around the yard from that particular window anymore. But it'll be closer to the house, and when she wants a bell pepper or a tomato to cook something, all she got to do is go out the back door, walk about 8 foot, open the greenhouse door, go get what she wants, come back out, go back in the house. And it'd be close to the barbecue grill with the that I'm putting that I should be getting the last pieces of tin that I need tomorrow or Monday, and it'll be all have a metal roof on it. I'll move stuff around. We've got the old light and smoke hood off of the old stove that my wife just absolutely hated because it was getting rusty and everything on the inside. I'll just take sandpaper and sand that down and spray paint it on the inside and then hand paint it on the outside, covering up the electrical switches and the labels so that it matches the paint that I put on the wood parts of the building. And Bob's your uncle. Have to wire in a couple of things. Hopefully, I won't have to hire a an electrician to come out and put new breaker boxes and everything up to code in my breaker cabinet, whatever you want to call it, and run that out through the attic and then down to the well, it's not really a shed, it's a pergola. It's open on all sides. So, yeah. And then have some um, lights and other things wired in there. Maybe dig up my old um radio from work. I'm sure I brought it home from the factory. I hope I didn't leave it there. I'm pretty sure it's in one of the boxes of stuff I brought out of my lab when I was packing up that last week that I was working. And just, you know, have a few lights, have where I can put the fan on for the charcoal grill that's going to be underneath that fan and that light. And I don't dare put it anywhere near the cast iron stove because that might get hot enough to start melting wires and stuff. So all the lights have got to be, everything has got to be far enough away to where it won't get hurt from the heat from the stove because it is a coal burning, wood burning stove. And got to finish putting the chimney together and assembling all of that. I figured out a couple of shortcuts on that. I'll have to see whether or not they work once it's warm enough to go back outside and start working on it again. It's going to be fun times. I will have videos of me cooking outside posted to my YouTube channel. Would kind of like to do one inside the house cooking something and sending a link to the video to some friends of mine over in Portsmouth, England, because the wife was very interested in my recipe for oyster stew. Her husband is not a fan of fish, but he has eaten some, and it was more to his liking than he thought it would be. And then let them have my recipe. I'll have to write everything down because I'm one of those Southern cooks that you just put stuff in there. You don't bother with measuring bowls or spoons or anything. You just kind of that looks right. Probably need about this much of this spice and about this much of this spice, and do everything you got to do, and basically you just throw stuff into your ancestors, say that's enough, child, you can stop now, and cook it. Don't know exactly what the first thing I'm going to cook on the cast iron stove is going to be. I was thinking maybe a pot roast. Then again, it could be anything. It could be as simple as just hamburgers the first time. Who knows? It'll be. I've got a new camcorder back here, and I've got a tripod to put it on. I don't know how good the microphone is, but you know, a little trial and error. And if I have to get a better camcorder that I can actually get one of those Bluetooth clip-on lapel mics, I can do that. I mean, I'm retired. I don't have that many expenses anymore. All the cars are paid for. The house is paid for. The only thing I got to do is pay the utilities and property insurance and property tax, and that's about it. And since I'm not driving back and forth to the factory every day, and we're not having to buy groceries for me to eat at the factory every day. We got a smaller grocery bill because it's just my wife and myself and the dog and the cats. And the dog and the cats do not eat people food most of the time. I don't let them eat people food, but I am married. So every once in a while they do get a special treat that they're not supposed to. But these things, it still adds up to lower bills than they used to be when I was having to drive uh, 15 to 20 miles to work one way every day and then back home again and have 3 meals while I'm there, and then come home and have a little something, or just be so full from what my wife cooked for me to take to work that I wouldn't need to eat again. And I'm enjoying cooking for her. I have fun with it. I made a beef stew earlier this week. It lasted us almost 4 days. Wasn't supposed to be that huge, but I've got this bad habit. If you show me a crock pot to slow cook something in, I'm eventually going to fill that sucker up to the brim, and it'll be several days worth of food. And we don't waste anything. We eat every bit of it. None of it goes to waste whatsoever. It doesn't stick around long enough to go bad. And plus, it's fun for me to cook for my wife, and she has fun cooking for me. The stuff she cooks is a whole lot fancier than what I know how to cook, but that's the fun thing about having two people that know their way around the inside of a kitchen. You don't have to eat the same thing all the time. She likes my chili more than she likes her own chili. Um, she likes my beef stew. She likes my pork chops and sauerkraut, which is one of the few times I don't fill up the crock pot. Just only about halfway. Um, I like her um, World War II bomb shelter stew, which is basically sausage, good sausage, link sausage, but like brats, like bratwurst or a summer sausage or something like that, a large sausage, and potatoes and tomatoes and onions, and just cooked. It was basically it's made from just what you might have laying around. Um, but it was a staple item during World War II when people had to go to the air raid shelters, and they just take a pot of food with them and share it out with folks, or somebody else would bring a pot of food and share it with them. Um, she does a lot of she's she's British. She knows her way around a curry, and that's really good. I like that. Um, there's so many things she knows how to do that I just can't even wrap my head around. But I'm certainly glad to put it on a fork and eat as much of it as I can hold. And then there are things I know how to do that's just basic, simple Southern cooking. Um, things I learned from my family in East Tennessee, or from my mom over here, a few miles away in this county here in Georgia. And yeah, it's, I mean, good grief. I'm almost 70. Whatever I choose to do to have a good time, hopefully other people will like it too, or like sharing it or watching it or anything else. So, folks, we've been live for just a few minutes, less than an hour. I'm going to go to the closing credits here. Yep, we just hit the 1 hour mark, so I'm going to close out the show, and I probably will go to bed shortly. Of course, if I go to bed this time of night, I'll be up way earlier than I need to, and I'm retired, and I don't need to get up early unless there's someplace I've got to drive my wife to for a doctor's appointment or something like that. So, we shall see you, Stupid O'Clock and Last Man Standing on Thursday night. If you're a member of Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group, there's the Green Room on Friday nights, which is not recorded and more than a little bit off the wall. And then Last Man Standing after Stupid O'Clock on Thursday night and Saturday nights. And we have lots of friends that do things on Saturday evenings or Sundays that we sit and watch and participate in. We have Never Mind Furthermore, which is Nick Tockert's show, and he's on about 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there's all the other things that we all differently subscribe to or alike subscribe to and watch and participate in. It's just life. It's just fun. So thank you very much for your time tonight. Thank you very much for listening to me ramble on. Thank you very much for listening to me and Joe Dog ramble on a little bit. And y'all have a good night and sleep well. We'll see you later. And remember, go good guys.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.
Hello, I'm Dan Hollifield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Aphelion Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.